Well, hey guys. How have you guys been? You guys been doing good? Doing pretty good? Trying a different camera angle, as you can see. And it lets in more light, which is always a good thing, especially when you're doing night driving. But I don't like the angle. I always like the wide angle. It has a little fisheye, look on it, but for some reason the wide lens, when I use it though, it doesn't let in as much light. So that's a bit of a bummer. I don't know how much a GoPro would do, affect that. This car's passing me now. You can see how the hood mirror works. Yeah, trucks don't really have as much blind spots now. They have a couple, but those hood mirrors. The way the hood mirrors works is when somebody's passing me. Let's say somebody passed me on the left side. They will disappear my plane mirror. What's the plane mirror? The plane mirror is my big mirror, that big rectangle. That's the one that gives me the most, allows me to see furthest down the lane directly beside me. But as you start getting closer to my door, you will disappear, especially if your car. There is a spot where you will disappear very little bit, like just for like a couple milliseconds. Then you get the convex mirror, which is usually right below it. Some people call it the West Coast. It's just a convex mirror. It's a fisheye lens. It's pretty much a wide-angle lens. So when you let's go with milliseconds, when you would disappear, that guy can't pick a lane. When you would disappear off, the plane mirror, you would pretty much immediately appear right in. Like you're not. I would never lose you in the convex mirror. But in the convex mirror, the smaller mirrors, it is a lot harder to judge things because you're much smaller. But I will see. That hood mirror, pretty much as soon as you hit my tractor, as soon as you're pretty much right on my tractor, I can see. Like I'm not gonna lose you ever. Now, let's say I'm passing somebody. Now, whatever happens on the left side, you reverse it for the right side. That pretty much tells me judge how far off I am. Am I good to get over? Where are you at? For example, I use the hood mirror most. Because it goes, I start with the hood mirror. When you disappear out the hood mirror, I go to my convex mirror. And when you're getting small, and then pretty much when I see both headlights, and the plane mirror, then I know I'm pretty much good and I can just get over whenever. But if I can see in the hood mirror, I definitely cannot get over. That means you're pretty much, like I said, sitting right on my tractor. You're pretty much right around the mud flaps or in front of them. If I got over, you're getting pushed off the road. If you're in a convex mirror, yeah, same thing. You're somewhere beside my trailer. I can't get over. You're still there. It's just a lot harder to judge where you are because you're too much smaller. Like I'm not gonna get over. I can see you. You're just a smaller target. But all right, let's get to the point of this video. Enough lollygagging. So I've been with JCT for 1 month now. When I was doing my own research about this company, I didn't see very many YouTube videos about them, and the ones that I did see were a bit older. So I figured I should do a fucking updated, modern video for other people that may be curious. Because there is really not a lot of info out there. And it makes sense. These guys, they used to be a company only, company drivers only, and then they went to lease purchase only. And a lot of people come into these types of companies with a completely wrong mindset, and that's what fucks them. They don't know what they're getting into, so they have no idea. Because they think, I'm a lease purchase, I'm owner op, I'm going to make way more money than the company got. No, that's not true until your truck is paid off. You're going to make pretty much roughly the same as you would company, with sometimes more. Like there's a few guys that run days, they make a little bit more miles than I do average, but I mean, we'll get to that a little bit. Alright, let's start. So, there's going to be about 3 extra days added into this. So, because my first load was at the very end of October, and it went into November. But it's gonna be less than like 600 miles. So I'm counting that as November. And I'm currently on a load that's gonna go in December. So I'm gonna split this load and put because I had a 1,000 mile deadhead. I was the only truck in the area, which I'm not complaining because your deadhead pay is the same as your load pay. So I'm not complaining. But I had 1,000 miles deadhead, which is going to be November, and the rest is going to go in December, because, what is it? Oh, I tried to reach out to grab my phone to look at the date, and it's like, oh yeah, I recorded my phone, can't do that. Hurt derp. You know, but okay, so, let's get to the miles. I got this truck at 135,000. I ran 13,000 miles in November. So, my first 8 days though, I ran 4,200. That was the best 8 days. That was the best week I had. Then I ran like a 3,200. Then I like a 23. That 23 is nothing they did. Nothing JCT did. That was completely on special circumstances. I had been given. I was running really early on his load. I swapped it thinking I could, get, instead of sitting around for a day and a half, get, about an extra 1,000 miles in and break 3,500 miles. That was a good game plan. It did not work out. I ran into some weather. Well, okay. When I say I ran into weather, I ran into like an hour or two of a storm blowing in. Didn't affect me. The roads weren't slick. It was just wet. Maybe it was a little icy a little bit. I couldn't tell. That was heavy enough, but when I went into the area, it was just wet. I was spraying. But there was salt everywhere. But then I came across this accident. I got held up for 2 hours. And it was a tight window where everything would have to go perfect. It was like a 20-hour drive. And it was supposed to be there like 21 hours. So everything would have to go perfect for me not to be late, which I have no service failure so far, and I've been late on 2 loads. Nothing, I'm done. And then this load was going from Tucumcari, New Mexico. I have a video about this one. It's the 2-day load, somehow turns into 4 days. Well, brief summary is 2-day load from Tucumcari to Modesto, California. It was going to Maricold. Maricold, I get only receives from 5 to 11, which is not even 5 to 11, it's 6 to 11, because they start receiving 5:40, 5 or something like that. Because they have a major issue with companies saying it's 5. And then I found this out on Wednesday, so I said around a day, so I got there Thursday. And then I got there and they're like, oh, we don't have an appointment for you, even though my appointment got rescheduled, so I wasn't working. That was interesting, but that was just a shitty week. Nothing JCT did, but that was 2,300 miles. Right now, I'm going to end this week with 3,000 miles. So I'm pretty much averaging 3,200. That 4,200 my first 8 days helps. What I pretty much average 3,000 miles a week. Even if you take away that, it's just, that's what's happening. So, if I was to average just 2,800 miles a week, 2,900 miles a week, my truck's paid off like 4 to 4.5 years. Which, alright. Even on that 2,300 mile week, which, that is my first week I had to make a truck payment. Because they gave me 3 weeks where I didn't have to make a truck payment. Which I was making at that point, those first 3 weeks I brought in $2,000 each. Over $2,000. my fuel cost right now, I seem to bounce from 800 to like 1100 a week in fuel. So I pretty much assume I'm spending $1,000 on fuel a week. So $1,000 on fuel a week, $1,000 for truck payment, and that, okay, when I say $1,000 for truck payment, that means the minimum fee. So like, because it's variable payment. So if you go home, you run no miles, you just owe 120 plus the rental equipment. See, it's like $300 all for everything you would owe for that week, which is much better than pretty much any other company. So, but that $1,000 a week for truck payment, assuming it goes based on miles, I pretty much that's that 120 fee, the flat payment. That's like that's part of the balance. Like, that's 120. Let's go towards your balance. So the 120 plus, like, let's assume a $700 truck payment. That's up like 2,000 miles a week. Plus the insurance, so that's 200. There's $1,000 a week. So that pretty much means I need to make. They pretty much say if you run 2,500 miles, you break even with a little left over. And you break even and you pay yourself. That's what that is. You break even on what you owe. I hate that thing. I really wish my fucking switch would stay on. Because I get over, because you see how this truck is drifting side to side. So I get over to hug on the line, and then just in case he decides to drift over to me and fucking lane departure. But okay. So even at 2,300 mile week, my worst week, I still took home $800. I consider it out of the way. Everything was covered. I still took over $800. Now did that suck? Yes, because I could easily made another $500 off that, because my bills were already paid. So I could have easily made another $500. Took it home $1,300, $1,400, you know. But that was the only week out of the 4 where I made less. Assuming, I'd have to make truck payment. So take away the truck payment of those over those 2,000 plus weeks. I made less than $1,300. That I'm okay with that, because I understand how things work. You gotta sacrifice until the truck's paid off to start making money. There's guys out here though that are running making $15, $18 a week. They're supposed to take it home. Now they still gotta put aside the taxes on that. But assume 20 to 25%, so 1,800. There's 180, so there's 360. Just say you put away 420. There you go, you're covered. It'll be 430. So even that 1,800, you still made a little under 1,400. I know my math's not exactly spot on there, but I just over round, and you'll be fine. Now this truck has been pretty good to me, actually. I haven't had any issues. It needs an alignment. That's about the only issue. Which I'll fucking just eat these. It pulls to the right, and there's a dead spot in the steering wheel. Well, it's not really a dead spot. I have to turn more left to get it to go left. And it doesn't really pull to the right. It's just the steering wheel's not centered, and it bugs the fuck out of me. Especially when I'm trying to counter steer in the wind or whatever. Especially in heavy wind, and you gotta, and it's like pushing to the right, and you gotta like have half a steering wheel turn left. But no, so truck's been good. I'm pretty much gonna do all my maintenance every about 35 to 40,000 miles, probably 35. Get everything done. It's better to be preemptive than reactive, and there's no such thing as being too safe on your maintenance. There really is no such thing, especially when it's your livelihood. Oh, so yeah, the maintenance plan. Okay, let's talk about that too. Because talk about maintenance, perfect way to run into a maintenance plan. They require 5 cents, and by default there's a $5,000 cap, but you can send a message in to, I forget who it is. You just send a Qualcomm message just saying, hey, remove the cap, and they'll remove it. You can raise the maintenance up, but so once I get going, I start making more money. So probably going to the next time, I'll probably raise it up to 10 cents, and you go from there. So if I do 3,000 miles, that's $300. That pretty much covers that 3,000 miles. That 1 week would cover pretty much a full PM. Well, it'd be a little short, but it'd pretty much cover like 90% of it. Now, also when because they did a special thing, I guess, for like with COVID year or whatever, or for 2019 or 2020. I mean, whatever. I don't understand. They didn't exactly. They don't usually give you three free truck payments. They usually give you only one. But they gave the orientation group I was with, which was like 4 people, 1 left. That guy left was interesting. He pretty much left because he wanted a Freightliner and he couldn't get a Freightliner. Even though if he waited, he would have got one. They were ordering new trucks in. But so those first 3 weeks also did not include any maintenance, anything. Like even they call it performance escrow, which is a bit deceiving. They should really just change that to deductible payment. So pretty much every week you pay $25 in each week. Once it's $1,000, they no longer take it, and that $1,000 is cover your deductible. So if something happens where if it's anything involving damage, even if it's not your fault, they take it first. Same with full coverage. You should do this even if you're on full coverage insurance, personal insurance. Well, the insurance is battling that. It could take months. It could take months. Could even take years. Well, the insurance is battling whatever the bullshit is out. You pay the deductible. You get it fixed. And then when they find out, let's assume you're not at fault. You already know you're not at fault. Okay, when you're not at fault, and it's all settled. You get $1,000 back, and then you might get some like lost wages too. Possibility. I mean, that's the whole point. But that's the performance escrow. That's $25 a week for like 10 weeks. Wait, that doesn't add up. But yeah, $25 a week until it's fucking $1,000, which would be like 10 months. I don't know why I said 10 weeks. So yeah, performance escrow. Name is very deceiving, but just remember it's deductible. Now, okay, so I'm still learning their office because they have a lot of people. They have a lot of staff. I was not expecting how many staff they have for how little trucks they have. Because they only have like 1,000 trucks, 1,000 drivers, that is. But so my DM is a bit newer, but he seems to be a pretty good guy. When I actually call him, even if it's like first thing in the morning, he knows I drive nights. He sounds like he actually wants to talk to me. Like he answers the phone, hey buddy, what's going on? And there's not everybody does that. Like he's always, when it comes to calling and talking to people, he's the best one, attitude-wise, I deal with. There is going to be the miscommunication sometimes with some people. Like I was running behind on a plan that I was never going to make. I was never going to make this load from Dallas to Walmart in Utah. And I sent a message in right away because what happened on that load was, hold on, I'm getting distracted by a truck passing me, and I want to get over, but I also need to keep my momentum up because I am heavy. I'm 78,000 pounds. I'm carrying some meat. Alright, so Miracle, and I show up. I'm there at the Miracle in Dallas. Everybody knows the Miracle in Dallas. You have that little, there's parking around the overnight. It's not a lot, there's parking. But I show up there the day before at 2 a.m. My appointment's at 4 p.m. Oh, hello, Pepper. So, I go to check in at 3 o'clock, thinking, hey, I can get loaded, they'll get me in, they'll get me loaded, into the door, get me in and out. So I check in. And as far as I know, I only have one stop. It's going to Grandview, Washington, which it's been a bullshit 2 weeks. But I check in, and they go, "You got an extra stop?" And your appointment has been pushed back 2 hours. And as far as I know, I was like, I don't have no stop. And they're like, "Are you sure? Is this the right pickup number you're giving me?" I was like, "Yeah." Look, I showed them my phone. And they're like, "Yeah." And then you see the one stop. I was like, "Okay," but there's been no stop added on. I was like, "Okay." I checked in just in case my dispatch was going to tell me to pick it up anyways. But I called and said, "Hey, I don't know if you guys have heard, because I guess Miracle Systems got hacked or whatever a week before. They're doing it all by paper now. Most of their systems get caught up." Anyways. But I was like, I get here for my appointment time. They're telling me an extra stop's been added on. Even the bills did not show another stop. So this is a weird load that confused everybody. Not to mention, so Corinne had me out. They were great. They were fast about it. I was in and out with like 3 hours. Great. I like that. Corinne, Utah is one of my favorite Walmarts. Because it's just middle of nowhere. If you look at Corinne Walmart or Corinne, Utah Walmart, it's your typical Walmart, a lot, but it's middle of nowhere. It's not, a heavy traffic area. There's places to sleep around there. It's just good. It's a good Walmart. But all right, so I get to Grandview. Oh, look on. Before I go up to Grandview, so I let the planner know. I was like, as soon as I got out of Miracle, I was like, hey, they held me up for 6 hours, not making the delivery on time, because they scheduled it for like Tuesday and it's Sunday. And when they said set it for Tuesday, they set it for like 5 p.m. And it's like a 2-day drive. Oh, okay, well, it's not quite a 2-day drive, but it's like oh, come on. Okay.
I'm gonna be the next king.
They're pulling me in. They're pulling everybody in, it seems like. This is lame. I know I'm legal, but I didn't scale myself, but it feels good. It's one of those, alright, but the planner somehow missed the message and didn't reschedule it, and then he just started getting on the DM that was covering for my DM that was sick and didn't realize that, hey, it was his fault. And so the guy that was covering the DM called me, getting really what the fuck's going on here? Why aren't you moving? I was like, at this point my tenant just barely gotten up. It was 9 minutes and 59 seconds, or 9 hours and 59 minutes. So of course I'm not gonna be moving right away. It just takes me about a half hour to get up and rolling. This is interesting. A single scale. Gotta swing the trailer. Turn those off. I always like to be a good guy. Gives them less reason to, fuck with me. Which, I'm not one of those people that's scared of Catskills. But, okay. But anyways, Corinne's get settled. I pull in to Grandview, and Grandview Grandview was really pissed because they only had one PO. They only had one PO, and I had like 11 on my BOLs. Not my fault, that's their doing. But they're really pissed about it. And then they were extra pissed, and they could quote them because you have dairy, and your appointment was supposed to be at like 5:30 p.m. You were lucky, or you're lucky we even let you in because you have dairy. Because dairy, the produce are only early a.m.s, like 1 to 5 a.m. Get this guy up to scale. That was weird. I was not expecting that red light. So you're not gonna let me out or what? Oh, okay. Well, fuck, dude. Don't. You gotta give me the green light and then, tell me to stop here. Because red means stop, like any normal person. Yeah, my windshield's so filthy. Holy fuck. He was okay. Anybody, like, seriously, DOT, if you're gonna do that, green, then when they get on the scale, like, you green. As soon as you need me to stop, red. That's how every other scale works. I don't. What were they going for there? Fucking. At least he flashed. I'm like sitting there like, okay, red means stop. What am I sitting here for? This is a bit longer video than I thought it was gonna be. I'm just trying to give you the basic, rundown of how my first month has been. Overall, it's been great. Like, granted, most people consider this a honeymoon period, but honestly, I'm pretty easy to just work with. Like, I would have done a lease purchase tonight eventually. I just didn't want to spend another year fucking making the same money I could do now while making, paying my truck off. What's up, cat? Alright, so for those new guys, now the pay. I should have probably mentioned. Fuck off, lane report. I should have probably mentioned this other video. Which, my bad. I don't edit videos. But to me, it's just a better, more honest. Look, if you don't get. Oh, look, he's. You're only seeing the perfection. The great back, the back. You're seeing everything. You're seeing my thought process, everything, which can be all over the place. I think I'm coming down with something too. But so the fuel surcharge, you get that. You don't get the full right now 17 cents. Like they send out a message on Qualcomm telling you what you would get. So the fuel surcharge is 17 cents right now. That just changed today. So your base pay is $1. That's a very base pay. But there's this thing called market premium, which will go up with time. Right now it's 8 cents. So that's one. You add all those together though. You make that regardless, empty and loaded. So what is that? You're making $1.25 right now, which. JCT loads are not really spot, they're all contracts, and contract tends to be more the low end, and they're not going to be like the spot market. The spot market generally pays more, but it's more fluctuation. So now these guys, I guess they try percentage from a couple of people. A few people, and the guys who actually knew what they're doing made it work. It paid a little more overall, but most people wanted the flat, guaranteed money, which is. I don't know. I mean, I guess I would prefer the percentage. Like I prefer like the 75% minimum, whatever, because I can make more money that way, and I can put aside more money for the off weeks. Because those percentages, some of those are okay, like $2, $2.50 a mile. But there is no forced dispatch here, so. And my DM always makes sure I'm okay with the load. Like, I'm still working with him. We're pretty much gotten on the same page. I have not met him in person yet. When I was meeting all the staff when they did the tour, I guess he was sick or something. But I guess he's grown up around trucks. He has been a driver, but he understands the field because his dad was a trucker, I guess. And he's been on a few trips, and I guess he's been around the field, as far as I can tell. I guess there's another DM though that's been in the field for 33 years. Was a driver for like 23 or something like that. 20. I guess he DMs a bit differently than my guy, which okay. I drive hard. I don't do recap. I will do recaps if it's above 9 hours. And if it gets below 9 hours, I am not recapping, because if I can't get a full day to drive in, I don't want to deal with the bullshit and the headaches of knowing, oh, I can only drive 3 hours here today, I can only drive 7 hours tomorrow, I can only drive 5 hours the day after that. It's bullshit. I want to be able to drive as hard as I want, push it, which is working for me. I'm still getting miles. I'm driving strictly overnights. I don't really start moving until about 3 to 4 o'clock, and I stop. Right now, this load delivers at 9 a.m. They didn't take the load off me, which is what I asked them to do, because usually if the load's a bit late, they'll take the load and have you swap it if they can, to try to make it on time first. But they went to the customer because I asked them to, said, hey, see if they were scheduling, because I'd like to keep it slow, because they'll set me up great for this week. I can get a good head start for next week. So I'm set for this week of it's like 3,100 miles. Perfect. Ow. Sorry again for the longer video. Ton of info out here. There is no fuel discount, but you can go out and get your own fuel discount. You can get your own fuel card. I just registered an EIN. I've been LLC, so I got an EIN now. I'm slowly working into it. By summer, I'm gonna have a business bank. I'll have a fuel card, and my first year is to slowly work my way into everything professionally wise. Professional. So I'm building a fleet. My goal is to build a small fleet. After this truck's paid off, go get another truck. Put a driver in this truck. Pay the second truck out. Put a driver in that truck, get a third truck. But I'm also I'm also be paying all my driver's salary. I want my drivers to be taken care of. The salary will slowly increase as the company increases. So, pretty much to start, you're probably only going to make like $13 a week, which is that's about 40 cents a mile. But I think being salaried, most drivers, like if you only run 2,300 miles because of the weather, it's been a bad week. 2,300 miles, so you get 13 hours a week. That's pretty good. It is. That's pretty good. That's over 50 cents. And that's not by much, but that's pretty good. But I'd like to put it around 1,500, which would probably be where I'd like to have it for everybody. Because if you run 3,000 miles, it's 50 cents. If you run less, it's 55 to 60 cents. See, I want to be that type of guy. I want to make sure my drivers know they're taken care of. But okay, obviously you hear cats, you can have pets. There's deposit. Both pets need to have their shots, and they will not let you take the pet into the truck until it gets the shots and the deductible is paid. They will take the deductible if you want them to from your check. They won't necessarily take it from like the first one, like one lump sum. They'll split it if you want. Like they split it for me. It's $500. You'll get that back once the truck's paid off. However, I don't think you get it back if the truck's not paid off. So if you leave, I don't think you get the $500 back. Nah, the cat. Originally, before they would make you get the cat declawed, then they eventually changed their minds. Anyway, that's not really right. They do prefer you, like, you pretty much need to go get those like little claw covers. But you really need to know your cat's behavior to see if you want your cat in the truck. You can have a dog too. I don't think there's a weight limit, but obviously the more weight you have in your truck, the less the overall it's going to affect the gross. They run super singles on the tractors. They do not run them on the trailers. I wish they did on the trailers, but I understand why they do not. But the super singles are not as bad as people make them out to be. They are not bad in snow and on ice. Maybe back in the day when they were still working the kinks out, but these ones have gone through snow and ice. And when I say ice, I mean the Wyoming ice. So the good ice, the good hard, and also slick shit. They haven't hit like any deep snow yet where they've had to, plow through, well, anybody who knows tires knows the rule with tires. The wider the tire, the better it's gonna do in snow. It's a wider base. That also means you need to have plenty, the correct tread and everything, but that's the rule. The wider the tire, the better it is for snow. I don't know why people think these super singles are shit in snow. Again, maybe that was the case back in the day, but it's not the case now. These guys they also do not cheap out on tires. I got brand new tires when I got this truck. You do overpay for the truck a bit. Brand new these trucks are fully loaded pretty much. So the brand new lease truck will run you about $180,000. The variable payment on this 26 cents to the mile. 26 cents. So maybe you can easily just figure out what your payment's going to be. Like I said, factor in $1,000 and you're fine. But they only run they prefer if you're calling a trailer tire and you need a trailer tire, they're like, find out that shop has Michelins, like little Michelins, which I'm a fan of because I ran Michelins on my car only for 5 years. I was doing that medical courier job, and then they let me down. And trailer tires take more abuse than tractor tires, but you can only all tires are going to let you down, trailer tires, because they take more abuse. I need a drink, hold on. So much info. Oh, watermelon monster is nasty. I bought the wrong can. I saw the color, I was like, oh, that's the one I want. Realized it too late, and it was the wrong pink. Yep, you heard it first here, handies. Wrong pink, wrong pink. Alright, so they don't really have an actual real health insurance plan. It's like a copay. And it's like True North, which I'm gonna be doing my own shopping because that other drivers say it's not very good, which makes sense. Yeah, I mean the smaller companies aren't usually gonna have really good health benefits, period. So the way these guys plan is to lane departure. The way these guys plan, they got 11 planners. Well, 11 zones. They got more than 11 planners because obviously days off, the night guys, weekend guys. But they got 11 zones, and specific planners cover those zones. So, for example, California has one planner. Northwest, Oregon, Washington, and Idaho, Montana has another guy. Texas has its own. It's like that. It's zoned out. So night duties. So the night shift is comes on for a full week, 7 days, doing 12-hour shifts. And then those guys there's two crews. One comes on, does 7-day shifts for 12 hours every day. And then they switch. And then that first crew takes a whole week off. I think they're salaried. It has to be salary for that to work out. And then the other one comes in, and they rinse and repeat. What else can I say here? They don't have a lot of yards. Heavy yards, as far as I know, they have like 7. I know they have one in Bernardino. What was it? Oklahoma City. I think. No, wait. Sapulpa, Fort Worth, Lakeland, Florida, I think. There's like a few more that they're listed on the Qualcomm macro, but I can't think of the top of my head. I don't go to a yard very often. And pretty much the last month, I've been to Sepulveda Yard only once, and that was when I was, when I was there for orientation and get my truck. Then I haven't been there since. That was at the very, very start, before even November hit. That was like 27th of October, like I was telling you. And then I've been to Fort Worth last week. That's when I was grabbing that Washington load. That load out of Dallas was supposed to get me through home for Thanksgiving, but then fucking doing miracle things. They fucked it up by adding an extra stop in there. It wasn't them. Well, I mean, I guess they could have. They could have put it on a different trailer, but they put it on mine, and then because I was going up that way, and then. But anyways, I could not go see family for Thanksgiving, or even grab food or swing by because I didn't have the time. Now, if they put it on Wednesday, if they made the appointment Wednesday, like I asked recently, when I called in saying, oh yeah, they had an extra stop, so if you can make the appointment in time for like Wednesday night, we're going to be good. But they didn't. The planner really dropped the ball on that one. That one was a little annoying. But they deal with a lot of Walmart. 50% of their freight comes out of California, so you deal with California a lot. But I mean, they deal a lot with Walmart, JBS, the meat plant. Let's see what else. Miracle. I've been to that Miracle in Dallas twice so far. I know there's a few others in there. There's a juice place down in middle of Florida. I can't remember it, but they do go there. That place is interesting. Going down there to that was it Plant City? Yeah. Wait. No, Bradenton, Florida. That juice plant down there. Very interesting. It's like a big old factory spread across railroad tracks. It was also very narrow, like lanes and stuff too for trucks. So like if there's another truck coming down the lane and you're going down the lane, like you both can't fit down it side by side. Like one of you gonna have to like off-road yourself halfway just to squeeze by each other. And yeah, that was interesting. But I mean, so far I can't complain. These guys, I know I've done a lot of bullshit this story or this video too. Like when I say bullshit, I mean it's info plus it's some loads, load discussion. But I just want to give you guys kind of like a rough idea what you expect to getting into. You expect to pay off a truck in 4 to 5 years, 4 to 5.5 years, depending on how much you go home. I don't go home very often, so my truck may be paid off faster. You don't really, okay, so like, you're either going to pick a Freightliner, like right now, a Freightliner in Kenworth, so if you come in, most likely it's going to be a Kenworth, came in right now. They alternate years, so like right now, they're only ordering a Freightliner for next year, they're probably going to order a Kenworth after that. You got to be in a truck that somebody else has been in for like 90 days, and then they'll like put you on an upgrade list when the new trucks come in. I'm pretty sure if you were getting your first truck, like let's say my truck had 135,000 miles on it, that's still new to me. Let's say you get in this truck, you you get a brand new truck comes in, you've been waiting on it, you get in that truck, I'm pretty sure your payments start over. So I don't know if you really would want to waste 3 months of payments on a truck that truck balance that would not transition over, but you might, just because you'd have 100 less miles on it. Not all trucks, like there was a used truck out there that had 80,000 miles on it. So not all trucks are gonna have high miles. But there was one out there that was clearly a team truck that somebody been in for like a year and a half that had 260,000 miles on it. So but there was like 20 trucks you could go through and check out. You don't get the only issue I really had with them is you couldn't test drive them, but you couldn't they would let you come over them inspect them before you'd actually claim that truck. So. But you couldn't test drive, which is a little bit. You couldn't even drive around the yard, which okay, that's a little weird. But I mean, they've been pretty upfront about everything. They haven't hid anything from me, so far so good. I'll do periodic updates, but hey, you guys stay safe out there and rubber down.